您现在正在收看的是猎鹰9号天龙太空船载人赴国际太空站第5次任务的直播画面。我们可以看到，这一次包括一名日本太空人若田光英，一名俄籍的太空人安娜 Kikina 和2名美国太空人 Nicole Mann 和 Josh Casada 是共乘天龙太空船准备赴国际太空站。由于这是俄乌战争打响后首次美俄太空人共乘天龙号从美国出发赴国际太空站，因此这一次的任务可以说受到相当多的瞩目。目前距离发射还有40多分钟，我们可以切换一下不同的画面来看目前的一些状况。现在是这个主画面的情况，目前距离发射还有43分钟。猎鹰9号预计于美东时间10月5号中午从佛州甘乃迪，也就是肯尼迪的太空中心的39A 发射场是发射升空。这项任务它的这个英文的名称叫 Endurance。天龙太空船在今天出发以后，预计在10月6号，也就是星期四下午的4点57分，与国际太空站要进行对接。目前你看，目前这个是媒体守候的一些画面这一批太空人预计在太空站要待上6个月的时间。我们来听听现场的一些解说。目前可以看到，这是在天龙太空船舱内的一些画面，4名太空人全都已经就位了。比较有意思的是，这一次担任这个指挥官任务的这个美国太空人叫 Nicole Mann， 他本身是这个美国的原住民，他可以说是第一位进入太空的原住民女性也是这个原住民当中第一位进入太空的担任指挥官任务的一名优秀的女性太空人。那这4名太空人当中，4位可以说都是这个4位，其中有3位是第一次进行太空任务，反而是这一名这个日本太空人这个若田光英他已经他本身的已经有59岁，不过他经验非常丰富他曾经我昨天看一下，大概有8、9次吧太空任务，可以说是经验老道的一位太空人他是上过太空非常多在太空中的天数他们太空人讲资历，就是说在太空中待过超过300多天，可以说是相当资深的一位太空人，由他压阵不过指挥官是一位美国的女性。那这2位美国太空人，这个 Nicole 跟 Josh一女一男他们本来训练是要这个搭乘着Starliner， 就是波音的 Starliner 赴这个国际太空站。可是我们看到 Starliner 最近是遇到一些问题可以说是目前他们主要的状况都是这个是在这个以这个天龙太空船为主要运输工具。 好的，您现在看到的是目前这个天龙号准备出发，要前往这个国际太空站的一个画面啊。
SpaceX Dragon copies stepping into Section 7. All crew visors are closed. We are arming the launch escape system.
现在距离发射不到38分钟。这是目前舱外的画面。我们来看舱内目前的一个画面。
This is MD on countdown 1. Launch escape system is verified armed.
比较值得注意的是，我们可以看到这个天气可以说是相当晴朗，对于佛罗里达来说，这个今天算是一个好天气发射前 SpaceX 团队在猎鹰9号和天龙号的内部都发现一些问题，因为飓风刚刚过后，而且这个系统需要检修。不过经过连日来的着手改善和修复，目前系统是保持在最佳状态。现在距离发射大概是37分钟。我们知道这个飓风刚刚过境飓风过后，其实在这个地区还会有一些不稳定的气流。目前看起来天气是相当好，不过特别是这个它的这个火箭下来要回收的时候，必须要考虑天候因素。根据美国太空军第45的气象联队的气象官的预测今天有超过90%的天气条件有利于 Crew-5 的任务升空。现在距离发射还有36分钟。我们前面有提到说，这一次的任务叫有4位的太空人这个特别有意思的就是这一位这个若田光一这个日籍太空人，他本身在太空待的时间有347天8小时32分钟，可以说是经验非常老道的太空人他是这个学习的是航空工程学士。在取得应用机械硕士以后，被这个美国太空总署选中接受训练他参加过非常非常多的任务也搭乘过联盟号太空船，也搭乘过这个今天这一次是搭乘这个 SpaceX 的天龙号太空船。实际上在过去的时候他也担任过非常多的不同的任务，担任过指挥官，担任过这个任务的专家，各种任务。那另外我们来看的就是有2位这个太空人他非常都是年轻的，一位是这个 Nicole 跟 Josh 是2位美国的太空人这个美国这位太空人他年纪非常轻，是1977年，相对于其他太空人来说是比较年轻的他是这个1977年出生。他是在2013年被选入成为 NASA 的第21组的太空人他刚才我们提到，他本来是要参加 Starliner就是星际航线飞船的这个飞行， 去赴这个国际太空站。但是 NASA 在最近一次测试以后就无声无息了，反而 NASA 立刻跟这个 SpaceX 签订这个长期合约，所以许多人对 Starliner 未来的担任任务可以说是相当担心啊。现在距离发射还有34分钟。目前您看到的是这个天龙太空船Crew-5，就是第5次载人任务准备赴国际太空站的一个现场画面。我们刚刚前面提到，这一次是这个俄乌战争打响后，首次美俄太空人共乘天龙号从美国出发，不一定是回来哦，我们是说第一次共乘出发去赴国际太空站。尽管有很多这个争吵跟波澜啊，目前这个俄国跟美国2个国际太空站的合作基本上是继续进行。我们再来看看这一名这个俄籍的这一位太空人，这是唯一一位这个来自俄罗斯的太空人啊。他其实是目前这个俄罗斯这个太空总署或者是宇航局唯一的一位女性太空人啊。她也相当优秀，她本身是学习工程背景出身的啊。她会在这一次的这个任务当中进行这个 space walk， 应该叫做太空漫步吧，太空行走。他在这一次当中，他经过长期的训练，然后成为第一位乘坐天龙号太空船的俄罗斯太空人。他是第一位乘坐天龙号的俄罗斯太空人。他今年是38岁，可以说是更年轻、更有活力的一位女性太空人。他也比较有意思，他本来是要担任这个联盟号太空船赴这个国际太空站的任务但是也是因为这个中间有一些座位的替换被换到天龙号太空船，所以我们可以看到这个前面几位包括2名美国太空人本来是要坐这 Starliner 出发，然后这一位这个安娜俄籍太空人，他本来是要搭乘联盟号太空船到国际太空站，都临时这个换位置，搭乘这一班的这个天龙号太空船。
Stage 1 cryo-helium loading has started.
现在距离发射还有30分钟。 我们来看一下舱外的画面。目前这个天气晴朗。刚才我们听到这个美国太空军的气象联队说，今天的天气条件90%有利于发射，所以如果一切顺利，在待会美东时间中午12点，也就是美西9点中港台的这个晚上的午夜12点顺利发射，应该是没有问题。目前您看到的是天龙太空船搭载4名太空人准备赴国际太空站的画面。现在距离发射时间是不到30分钟。这一次可以说是第一位俄罗斯太空人搭乘这个猎鹰9号天龙太空船出发前往国际太空站。可以看到这个猎鹰9号的火箭发射可以说是相对成熟在过去这一段时间，不但中途取消的次数可以说是微乎其微，另外发射时间也相当准时，整个流程可以说非常流畅。而且在第2季的时候，非常有意思的一个数据就是SpaceX 它的这个发射所运载的这个吨数它的加总起来是比这个所有全世界任何的这个航空器发射的总和还多出2倍，所以它的这个发射量可以说相当惊人。
Stage 2 cryohelium loading has
现在看到的是这个天龙号太空船准备发射的这个现场画面。猎鹰9号预计于美东时间10月5号中午从佛州甘乃迪，也就是肯尼迪太空中心39A 发射场准备发射升空。目前距离发射只有24分钟。这一次包括一名日本太空人若田光一、一名俄籍太空人安娜 Kikina 和2名美国太空人 Nicole Mann 和 Josh Casada 是打算共乘天龙号太空船是赴国际太空站。这一项这个太空任务的代号叫做 Endurance，它预计安排太空人在国际太空站要待上6个月的时间。今天发射以后，预计经过一段这个长时间超过24个小时的飞行以后，会在10月6号，也就是星期四下午的4点57分，打算与国际太空站进行对接。我们可以看到，目前天气状况非常好啊。这不但有利于发射，特别是要回收这个装置啊，就是发射段要进行回收的话，也会有帮助。目前距离发射只有20多分钟。如果你特别注意的话，就是在这个39A 发射场旁边正在兴建的是未来这个星舰飞船，就是星舰Starship 它的一个发射塔，目前已经将近在主建筑整个建构过程可以说是接近完工。但是这个新建的发射架跟发射塔要正式启用，应该要等到明年的时间。目前这个星舰 Starship 首发进入地球轨道的测试啊，原则上还是在德州的星舰基地进行。不过未来这个 Starship 的发射塔在这个佛州这边建筑完成以后啊，可以说是SpaceX 有2个地方可以发射星舰。现在介绍这位是这个任务的指挥官，我们说他是第一位这个美国原住民进入太空，同时第一位女性的原住民担任太空任务的指挥官，非常优秀。他本来训练是准备搭乘这个波音的 Starliner 飞船赴国际太空站，但是因为 Starliner 一直没有办法在建立正常的运作，所以临时被调派来天龙太空船的任务。现在距离发射只有19分钟。 这是舱内太空人的画面啊。这位你看到是另外一位这个美国太空人叫 Josh，他也是第一次出发担任这个这个太空任务，本身是来自美国的海军。他跟这个尼寇一样，本来也是受训是要搭乘这个Starliner 星际航舰飞船赴国际太空站，但是也是刚才我们说这个Starliner 一直无法顺利运作，所以被调派来搭乘这个天龙太空船。这个就是若田光一。若田光一是这个来日本籍的太空人，他进行过相当多次的任务超过有1、2、3、4、5、6、7数不清了。他在太空上面停留的天数有347天，可以说这一次任务的4名太空人当中最资深而且经验最丰富的太空人。好的，现在距离发射只有17分钟。你目前看到的是这个甘乃迪太空中心的组合建筑我们知道这个 SLS 大火箭因为躲这个飓风是被运回到这个组合建筑内。
Stage 2 LOX load has started.
目前距离发射还有16分钟。这是目前这个太空人在天龙号太空舱待命发射的画面。
Strapped in and ready to go. As you can see there on the right-hand side of your screen, everybody continuing to
这是目
monitor
前这个
pop load there
NASA
on their crew
电视
monitors.
在进行
Now,
现
final
场转播的一
instructions
个
to
画
the
面
crew come at T-10 minutes. At that point, their crew displays will be configured for launch. This setup gives the crew insight into how the launch is proceeding and provides constant updates on vehicle health. At T-5 minutes, we'll hear the call out that will be in terminal
不知道
count.
是角
And
度
at
还
that
是
point,
镜
Dragon
头
will
的关系
transition
可以
to
看到在
power.
这个画面上左边的这位太空人物啊，一些动作啊，进进出出拿东西的动作比较频繁。这是一个远眺的画面。好的，现在距离发射只剩13分钟多。这个画面非常壮观。我们刚刚说到这个画面，这个除了远远的地方可以看到猎鹰9号，另外在画面稍微偏右的地方，也就是这个记事板上面，这个是未来这个 Starship 就是新建的一个发射架。目前主建筑已经完工啊，就是画面这个右边这个地方，好的，你看到的是目前这个在这个指挥中心内部的一些画面。
29 hours rather, chasing down the International Space Station. Rendezvous at 4:57 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening. One of the longer transit times.
It's true. It's a little bit long.
现在距离发射还有12分03秒。
As the launch date shift around, that changes the time that you can actually arrive on space station. They've got plenty of consumables, so it should be fun to have some time in space.
And when they arrive tomorrow evening.
我们知道，在10分钟的时候，任务指挥官要逐一这个检测各个部门是否顺利，可以准备进行发射。
Eastern Time, 7:15 p.m. Central. And some final thoughts, Bob, as we get ready to watch Crew-5 launch into space.
You know, my opportunity to sit here and watch Crew-5 go has just been inspiring again to see another vehicle head towards the International Space Station. Again, I'm excited for them and just hopeful that Nicole, Josh, Koichi, and Anna have just a wonderful mission. I know that they've got a wonderful launch in front of them.
Absolutely, and that's what we're rooting for here. And so, with T-11 minutes and counting, we're going to spin our chairs around and watch the launch. We're going to let Kate and the team focus on the pad as we proceed through the final stretch of the countdown. Turn it over to Kate Tice at SpaceX.
距离发射只有10分56秒。
Thanks, Daryl. As you
我们来看舱内太空人的画面。
The crowd is definitely growing here at the SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Certainly one of our company traditions is to watch the launch itself from behind mission control, which you see there on your screen. You can see this is mission control Hawthorne, or as you sometimes hear referred to as MCCX.
现在画面上是这个 SpaceX 的 Mission Control Center， 也就是他们的控制中心啊。
It's a great spot to watch launch. And like I said, as you can see, the energy is certainly starting to grow now that we're about to hit T-10 minutes. Beautiful view there of Falcon 9 and Dragon on the pad, ready to take Crew-5 to space.
SpaceX confirmed crew displays are configured for launch.
距离发射只有9分52秒。
Preparation and training in getting Endurance and Crew-5 to the launch pad today, and your continued support in helping to make this a successful mission. We look forward to joining the rest of our Expedition 68 crew members aboard the International Space Station. And a special thanks on behalf of all the crew to our family and friends. It is your love and support that help make dreams come true. Now let's do this. Crew-5 displays are configured for launch.
Copy. And Nicole, Josh, Koichi, and Anna On behalf of the entire team at SpaceX, good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
And those words from Nicole Mann, the first female commander of a Dragon, as she thanked the many folks that have helped get them to this point. We're now less than 9 minutes away from launch today. Upon liftoff, you'll hear a number and letter combinations which mark different abort zones throughout the flight, as well as some performance calls. The first two are 1A and 1B, and those signify the first stage and will last up to the very north tip of North Carolina. The next are 2A through 2E, and those will come into play once the second stage kicks in, lasting from the top of North Carolina all the way to the tip of Newfoundland in the northern Atlantic. You'll also hear a spot that is to be avoided, and you might hear Shannon or forward to Shannon, and that actually refers to Shannon, Ireland, meaning they would target off the east coast of Ireland if they were later in that second stage and did need to abort for some reason. So the next major milestone that we're looking towards will come just seconds from now, and that will be when engine chill.
目前我们听到这个播报员在解释接下来的一些程序，特别是发射以后各段它有回收的时间跟大致的地点。目前距离发射只有7分10秒不到。
Coming up in just about 45 seconds, we should expect to hear that RP1 load is complete. RP1 load is that densified kerosene or rocket fuel that will help propel the crew into orbit. All of that RP1 is loaded into the first stage, and we are standing by to hear that it was loaded into the second stage as well.
Again, we expect that to wrap at T-minus 6 minutes. The venting that you see on screen is totally normal. That is just some of
推进剂的补充。
Great news there that RP1 load is now finished. As I was saying, the venting that you see on the vehicle is totally normal. That's just some of the super chilled densified liquid oxygen just vaporizing as it comes into contact and vents from the vehicle.
And coming up, we'll also hear the call for Dragon to configure for terminal count, and then it will be transferred over to internal power, and then we'll hear that propellant tanks on Falcon 9 are getting ready to pressurize, which helps add some additional rigidity and structural support
所以你可以
as we
看到
get
舰
ready
体的
for
表
strong
面
back retract.
这边我们来看一下这个画面，
Falcon
可以
9 tanks
发
will
觉
be
的
pressurizing
非常
for
低
strong
温
back
可以
That
看
strong
到
back
这个
will retract
有
a
水
couple of
汽
degrees
的
at
一个连
first,
接。
and then we will see it swing open completely just shortly or at the moment of
Falcon
liftoff.
9 tanks will be pressurizing for strong back retract.
And there's that indication that we are preparing for that strong back retraction.
Dragon is in configure for terminal count.
那
Coming
这
up
个
in
镜
just
头
a
非
few
常有意
seconds,
思
we
啊！
should
从
hear
这边
that
照
Dragon
过
is
去，可
in
以看
terminal
到
count.
这个猎鹰9号跟天龙太空船之外，远远在镜头的上方，这就是正在赶工新建的新
All
建
right,
的
there
发
we
射
heard
舰
that。call. Dragon onboard computers have now taken control of the vehicle. As I mentioned before, first stage LOX or liquid oxygen loading is underway and will wrap up at T-minus 3
Strong back
minutes.
retract has started.
Second stage will wrap its LOX load at T-minus 2 minutes. Launch teams continue to report no issues, and everything remains green and for an on-time
Strong back
launch.
retract has started.
不知道有没有这种感觉，就是在这么多这个
And here in
中
just a
小
couple
型的
seconds,
这
you
个
might be
太
able
空
to
新创公
see
司
the
发射，
strong
以
back
及
arm as it does
SpaceX
begin to retract.
它的
As
发
Kate
射
said, it
过
will
程以及
recline 2 degrees.
太空总署，也就是 NASA 准备发射 SLS 火箭这么多的发射过程当中，如果你跟我一样有注意在收看关注他们的发射，可以发觉这个 SpaceX 他们整个发射流程可以说是非常有秩序，一切都按部就班进行。突发状况可以说是比较少，而且是说在进行的过程，他们有这个应对方案都已经准备好，可以说是非常有经验的一个发射团队。
The liquids and the gases and the electrical connections to the vehicle. It's also what we use to integrate the vehicle in its horizontal position, and we can see that 2-degree retraction.
现在距离发射的时间只有3分20秒。
And the next call out that we should hear in about 20 seconds is that the first stage LOX load is complete.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
And there we go, all of the oxidizer loaded on stage 1. Soon we'll hear that stage 2 LOX load is complete, and that will be the last propellant call out we'll hear today. Now less than 3 minutes until launch.
现在在等待第2节的燃料补充完成。
All right, there we heard the good news that Dragon is now on internal power. Again, the white clouds that you see there at the base of the Dragon trunk, totally normal. That's just the vapor from the liquid oxygen. Again, second stage now wrapping up its LOX load.
距离发射只有2分20秒。
Just a few minutes ago, and now moving toward wrap up of second stage LOX load, which will complete at T-minus 2 minutes.
Coming up on 2 minutes until liftoff, standing by for word that stage 2 LOX load has been completed.
好的，现在第2节的燃料补充已经基本完成，距离发射只有1分55秒。
Dragon is in auto idle. Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
There we heard the call out. Falcon 9 is now completely fueled. All of its propellants. So
closeouts are starting. Expect loud ending.
All of its propellants, and we can see that leftover liquid oxygen now being vented or released, now flowing further away from the vehicle. So nearly 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen in RP1 now on board Falcon 9. It is fully loaded and ready for launch.
And coming up at T-minus 1 minute, we'll hear that Dragon is in countdown. Its flight computer will switch to countdown mode, and we'll hear that the flight termination system on Falcon 9 is armed.
STS is armed. Falcon 9 is in startup and is now controlling.
And there you heard it.
Dragon is in countdown.
Dragon's flight computer in countdown. The flight termination system now armed.
We should get the final go for launch from SpaceX Launch Director Mark Surtees.
Dragon, SpaceX. Godspeed. Go for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, go for launch.
SpaceX reports go. Crew reports go. 30 seconds until liftoff.
T-minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power.
哇，已经顺利发射。可以听到现场是欢呼声不断。
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
一切正常。
We're now at T+35 seconds into the 5th rotational crew mission on board Dragon and
这
Falcon 9.
SpaceX 的发射可以说非常流畅。
Coming up in just a few seconds, we'll hear the call out for stage 1 throttle down.
known as Max Q. And once the vehicle, there we just heard that the vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. Once through Max Q, we'll throttle those Merlin engines back up.
Max Q. Stage 1 throttle up. Stage 1 throttle.
Stage 1 Bravo.
Copy 1 Bravo.
That call out for 1 Bravo means we're in the second and final abort mode for the first stage, continuing to get good performance. The crew is already pulling over 2 Gs. And next up is going to be a couple of events in rapid succession. First will be engine chill on the second stage and back engine. And there you heard that call out. And then we'll have MECO, or main engine cutoff, where the 9 engines igniting will cut off in preparation for second stage separation.
大概在3分33秒，
Then
刚
we'll
听
see
到
the
有一个
single
MECO 的
Merlin
指令，就
vacuum
是这
engine
主
on
引
the
擎
second
要
stage
切掉，
ignite and
第一
continue
节
to
的
carry
主
the
引擎
Crew-5
切掉，
astronauts to
然后
orbit.
第一节跟第二节要进行分离。
Just like we did on first stage, that MVAC chill is intended to help pre-chill the hardware prior to the full flow of that densified liquid oxygen.
Stage 1 throttle down.
At this point in time, those 9 Merlin engines are beginning to throttle down in preparation for MECO, or main engine cutoff.
Standing by for MECO.
And MECO.
Stage 2 Alpha.
And stage separation confirmed. Copy 2 Alpha.
There we should see that second engine begin to ignite now. And obviously confirmed by the loud cheer behind
好
us
的，
here
现在这个
at
第一
Mission
节
Control Platform.
推进段已经顺利脱离了。
Also in 2 Alpha for the aborts if needed. Again, second stage is lit and continuing to
其
carry
实
the
看这
Crew-5
SpaceX 的
astronauts
发
into
射相
orbit.
当有戏剧化，
We're now
就是
getting a view of the
现
first
场
stage
不能说是
after
群
that
众啊，
stage
就是说是
separation.
这
The
个
second
工
stage
作人
is still being
员都非常
illuminated
热
by
情
that
的
single
欢呼。
Merlin vacuum engine, and that's on the right-hand side of your screen. First stage on the left-hand side of your screen, making its way back to Earth. We will be attempting to land it on our drone ship, which today we are using just read the instructions.
Acquisition signal. Bermuda.
And we did hear that acquisition of the ground station in Bermuda. The first stage is continuing to make its way back to Earth, and the second stage is going to continue.
SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Another good call, trajectory nominal.
Dropped in copy.
Confirmation there from Commander Nicole Mann. You can also sort of see the Space Coast there in the background of the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen. It also looks like you can actually see the thrust plume created by the first stage as it's now rotating just out of screen.
如果你可以看到这个画面上这个
Second
左边
stage
的
is
这
going to
个画
continue
面是这
firing
个第一节
until a
的
little
空
over
拍
8
画面，
minutes into
右
the
边
flight.
这一边
Really
是这
doing
个
the heavy lifting
第
now,
二节
getting
的
the crew
这
into
个
orbit.
引擎梅林引擎的这个空拍
Everything
画面
continues to look nominal on both first and second stages. As I mentioned before, the first stage will be making a landing on one of our drone ships, which is currently parked a couple hundred miles off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. So we can see now that
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
这是第二节引擎
good confirmation there that we have good
Dropped in
trajectory.
copy.
The second stage now traveling over 5,400 miles per hour. Crew is pulling a little more than 1 G right now.
现在距离
That's going to
这个发射
continue
已
to
经
ramp
5
up,
分17秒。
peaking just before we get to second stage cutoff here in just a few minutes from now.
First stage will be performing 2 separate burns, a re-entry burn where we reignite 3 of the Merlin the Merlin M1D engines on the first stage. We ignite the center engine into radial engines to help slow it down as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. And then the second final burn, and that will be the landing burn on our drone ship.
And the single MVAC engine that you see,
SpaceX trajectory nominal.
the single MVAC engine that you see. see on the right of your screen is continuing to fire. We did hear another call out that trajectory is nominal. Crew heading in the direction that they are supposed to be. This single engine can produce over 220,000 pounds of thrust in the vacuum of space, now over 200 kilometers in altitude. We will start to hit events now in a rapid succession as the first stage continues to make its way back to Earth and the second stage continues its burn. Just a couple minutes left in that burn.
For those of you just joining us, just over 6.5 minutes ago, our 4 Crew-5 astronauts launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and they are now making their way into orbit on the second stage inside Crew Dragon.
Trajectory nominal.
Which we're hearing that the trajectory on that is nominal.
Dragon copy.
They are safe inside Dragon Endurance, whereas the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen is making its way back to Earth. We are coming up to the re-entry burn, which, as I said before, we ignite 3 of the 9 Merlin engines to help slow the booster down as it re-enters the dense part of the Earth's atmosphere. As the entry burn completes, we'll be in the final...
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
So there we heard the
Stage 2,
call out.
STS is safe.
You can there see it on your screen that that entry burn has been initiated.
And as that entry burn completes, we'll be in the final different abort phases here shortly, which essentially correspond to areas along the very northeastern seaboard of the U.S.
Stage 1, entry burn
预
shut
计
down.
在8分22秒，也就是发射之后8分22秒，这个第一节回收段会进行这个重新回到这个地面的一个点火。
Everything continues to look nominal for both the first and second stages.
另外，在9分钟的时候，这个第2节就是引擎会
The crew with the second stage still attached is now traveling over 13,000 miles per hour.
We're about 10 seconds away from SECO 1.
Copy, Shannon.
Shannon,
Stage 1, transonic.
That call out for Shannon, Ireland, indicative of our final abort zone. After this, we'll see second stage shut off, and we'll be listening for confirmation of a good orbit, which tells us the crew and Dragon are exactly where they need to be.
会在这个 drone ship 降落。
There we had confirmation that the
Stage
MVAC
1, landing burn.
has shut down simultaneously. The entry...
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal orbit insertion.
And you heard that call for a good insertion. We will coast for a few minutes.
现在你看到是第一节回收
There
段
we can see
点
the
火
drone ship coming into
降
view
落在
as
这个
Falcon 9
面
and
板
10.
的旁边，
Stage 1, landing leg
这
deployed.
非常壮观，
See those landing legs have now deployed.
开始点火。
And as you can see on your screen, and you can hear by the clapping and cheering behind me, Falcon 9 has landed on our drone ship.
好
Just
的，
with the
目前这个
instructions.
第一节回收段已经成功，比预定时间还稍微早一点降落在这个海面。
And again, that second stage separation will be coming up just a couple of minutes now. We do coast for a few minutes
Acquisition signal to Finland.
after second engine cutoff to allow any rates or motion to dampen out and settle. And looks like we're going to get a view of the
下一
second
个观
stage
察
as
重
it
点是在
separates here
12分
shortly.
57秒，天龙太空船会跟第2节分离，这是一个重要的
We
关
did
键。
hear that the crew has been successfully inserted into a good orbit. Again, the crew is still attached to the second stage.
We are expecting stage separation to occur in just over a minute from now, about 1 minute and 8 seconds. And
是
that's
的，
when
下一个重要关键就是
excuse me,
天
when
龙号
the
要跟
second
第2
stage
节
will
分离
separate。from the Dragon trunk. Dragon trunk is the part of hardware where we are able to house the cargo that is able to be exposed to the vacuum of space, as well as the solar panels which help power Dragon while it is on orbit. Again, that stage separation is now coming up in about 30 seconds. After stage separation, we will have nose cone deployment. Now that Dragon is in the vacuum of space, we will be able to open the nose cone and expose that forward hatch, which is what is utilized to dock autonomously with the International Space Station.
And that nose cone does stay closed for the flight uphill to help protect all of the guidance, navigation, and control sensors. We are standing by for second stage separation.
待会要进行就是天龙号太空船跟第二节分离以后，它的这个鼻罩会打开。
And there is separation.
成功的脱离非常流畅。可以听到这个背景上有响起了非常热烈的掌声。
Dragon this year, launch director on Dragon. On behalf of the entire launch and recovery team, it was an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this mission with you. And while October 3rd may belong to the Mean Girls, October 5th will forever belong to Crew-5. Godspeed, Endurance. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you so much to the Falcon team. That was a smooth ride uphill. You got 3 rookies that are pretty happy to be floating in space right now, and 1 veteran astronaut who's pretty happy to be back as well. Let's see what you got to say, Kluchi.
Falcon team, it was a smooth ride, and I see all the 3 happy faces here. Back in 0G, and I appreciate all the help.
目前天龙号進行單獨的飛行，可以看到艙內的太空人都神情如釋重負。
打ち上げでした。打ち上げご支援していただいた皆さん、応援に駆けつけてくださった皆さん、ありがとうございました。この調子でチームワークを持って頑張ります。Thank you for your support. Anya。
刚才听到的是日籍太空人若田光阴的回复。
And SpaceX exactly for giving us that opportunity. We're so glad to do it together. And thank you for everybody, for all people who with us. Спасибо большое всем агентам Роскосмос, НАСА, JAXA и, естественно, SpaceX за предоставленную нам возможность. Мы рады всем экипажам делать то, что мы сейчас делаем. И большое спасибо всем людям, кто сейчас с нами.
Really nice words there from the Crew-5 crew, as well as...
And Dragon South 9C, thanks for the words. Had a great ride. Have a good mission. We'll see you later.
A wonderful Mean Girls reference there by Launch Director Mark Soltis, and then we just heard from Chief Engineer Dan Alex. We just heard our first Quindar tone, indicating the crew is in space.
Dehumidifier activation and service section Draco checkouts. Expected loss of signal, New Hampshire.
Dragon copy.
And Kate, it did look like we were getting our first views of that microgravity indicator.
I did see that as well.
And we're getting views now of the crew on orbit, 3 of them for the first time ever. We saw some
我们前面有提到这4位太空人当中，除了这一位日籍的太空人若田光一有丰富的经验之外，其他3位太空人都是第一次进入太空。
Hopefully we can see that 0G indicator float back into view and hopefully get a better shot of it. I couldn't quite tell what it was, although it kind of looked like it may have been an Einstein doll. But that's just kind of what it looked like from the backside.
I think you're right, Kate. It looked like a baby Einstein to me. So the next milestone that we're looking ahead towards is the nose cone opening.
其 接下
If
来
you've
是
just
这
joined
个
us, we had a successful liftoff exactly
按照原
16
先的
minutes
时间，
ago
应该
of
是
the
在这个
Crew-5
发射后13分45秒就应
They
该要进
had an
行。
on-time liftoff
现
from
在
Kennedy
看
Space
起来
Center
这个
at
打开
noon
比照
Eastern
的
time.
时间
They
有
had
一
a
点这个落
smooth
后，
ride up
不
to
过这
orbit.
不是
The
很
first
重要
stage
的一
landed
个步骤，所
successfully
以
on our
一
drone
切
ship.
都还好。
Just read the instructions, and everything has been looking good so far. We are hoping to get another view on board Dragon once we're able to get that camera back. But so far, everything leading up to this point in time, we got a shot there of the MVAC engine, which is no longer firing. It is coasting with that attached to the second stage, which has been separated from Dragon. So everything was super smooth this morning, starting all the way back. I think we got here around T-4 hours, and super smooth countdown. Beautiful day from Kennedy Space Center. It looked like a gorgeous view from where Daryl and Bob were sitting. But yeah, we are standing by for the nose cone opening. Now that the Dragon spacecraft is in space, we are able to open up that nose cone and expose the forward hatch, which is what is utilized to autonomously dock with the International Space Station, but of course to protect that hardware as well as protect the guidance and navigation control hardware. We keep that nose cone closed during launch preparations and during the ascent portion. So as you can saw there momentarily, Dragon is in space, and the Crew-5 astronauts, all 4 of them, are floating, or they will be able to float soon. We're hoping to get another view of that zero-G indicator once we're able to bring onboard cabin views back to you of the Crew-5 crew. We always like to see what the zero-G gravity indicator is. As you saw earlier in the webcast, Bob actually brought the zero-G indicator that he and Doug used on the Demo 2 mission, a lovely sequin dinosaur, which I also have one at my desk. Bob obviously has the one that went to space. Mine is a replica, but we love seeing these zero-G indicators. It's a really nice way to connect those of us on ground with the folks up in space. So as I said before, we are anticipating nose cone deployment shortly. Just you can do a quick check-in, and there we can see now the nose cone, the hooks have been released, and we see that nose cone moving with a pretty up-close shot.
目前是看这个天龙号的鼻罩打开的一个画面。
We're continuing to see that nose cone open, and
Acquisition of signal line.
as we've mentioned, this does uncover a number of critical systems for the flight up to the space station that will be required for docking. There are 6 hooks that hold the nose cone in place during the launch and ascent portions. Those have begun to retract, and the nose cone is beginning to swing open.
事实上，这个鼻罩实际上也有非常重要的部分，因为它对接的时候，它必须是在一个打开的状态，太空人才可以从这里进出，然后可以进入国际太空站。
Shortly after nose cone deployment, the crew will be able to get their visors open, and they'll be given the OK to get out of their suits, and that will allow them to settle in for their ride to the International Space Station.
It is about a 29-hour journey for the crew from launch to docking to the space station, but as you said, they'll be able to get out of their suits, get comfortable, get some rest, and just enjoy being in the microgravity environment of space. Again, we have 3 first-time flyers and 1 veteran on today's flight, but I'm sure it was an exciting moment, no matter how many times you've been to space.
在一方面等待这个鼻罩打开的过程，一旦这个完成这一项任务以后，这4名太空人可以稍微放轻松哦，他们可以脱掉这个太空装。 另外，他们要经过29个小时的飞行，一直环绕地球，然后最后才会跟这个国际太空站对接啊，所以是一个相当漫长的过程。我们知道这个天龙太空船上面还有厕所，他们还会进食进餐， 这必须要熬上这个29个小时，才能跟国际太空站进行精准的一个对接。好的，您今天所看到的就是这一次Crew-5，也就是 SpaceX 第5次天龙太空船载人任务赴国际太空站的一个现场直播。在接下来20多个小时，在明天下午的时间，太空船将会与这个国际太空站进行对接。如果一切顺利的话，我们将会为您进行进一步的转播。好的，非常谢谢您收看今天的转播，我们下次再会，请锁定我们的频道，可以订阅不错过任何一次的发射直播。好的，非常感谢你。